G'day to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. It's a Saturday. It's overcast. We've got the music in the background there. If I pan across to the harbour bridge, you can see that sad old sight of both flags flying at half-mast to honour Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away yesterday. Anyway, what I'd like to do today is take you through another book summary like I normally do, and I'll do it from this vantage point on this afternoon. And as I said earlier in a previous vlog, it just goes to show that regardless of who you are, regardless of how important you are, life just continues to go on. Nothing stops all that much for anybody, even if you're the queen of the civilized world. I guess we can describe Queen Elizabeth. So the book that I want to do today, and I guess this book is selected in order to honour Queen Elizabeth II, is entitled Chasing Excellence by an author known as Bergeron. So this book is all about excellence and achieving excellence in one's life, and we could safely say that Queen Elizabeth II did pursue and deliver excellence in many areas of her life. So this author in this book kicks off with a magical quote where he says that talent without grit is just potential. Talent plus grit is unstoppable. And in many ways, across many measures, one could easily describe Queen Elizabeth II as being an unstoppable personality, a person who persevered, a person who was a constant in many of our lives, and a person who is and was the magic glue that kept nations together, kept families together, and kept our world continuing in a way, and through the many ups and downs that we experienced with the growth pains and the issues that we have had over the past few years with COVID and other such challenges. So the author then goes on to talk about athletes, and I guess Queen Elizabeth II could also be considered to be an athlete, a leader in her field. The author here says that athletes are so much more than just sports performers who train, eat, and carry out their physical activities as well. Athletes have something more than just the basic elements of a typical sort of human. They have a thing which the author describes as mental toughness, and he says that this is the key to becoming a leader in your field, because it helps you push beyond your limits, and it helps you bounce back from failures and hiccups along the way. So mental toughness, according to this author, is about building resilience and purpose, and Queen Elizabeth II had heaps of resilience, and of course it generated a great deal of purpose. So the first formal point to come from this book is where the author talks about the importance of having a life of hard, consistent work, because it's the hard and consistent work that outpaces motivation in the long run. Now, we all have fits and bursts of motivation. We experience it all the time, but it can only take you so far. You know, passion is what sets champions apart, and it's the passion that gives you the necessary energy to keep pushing when things are no longer fun. I often think about the royals, the royal family, and I say to myself, nothing would be more boring than to have to go from one event to the other, to have, you know, to be engaged in small talk with people about different sort of topics. But you know, to be a royal, to be Queen Elizabeth, to be the Queen would be a very difficult task. And the key component to doing this task well is to enjoy the hard work and to do this hard work consistently, day in, day out, without wavering from your duty. Because consistency, according to this author, is a game that is played in your head. You just need to continue to show up. You need to have an attitude of the first day in your job, and to consider that each event, each day that you get up is your very, very first day in your job, in order to keep you curious, to keep you motivated, and to make things fun. According to the author, motivation will get you out of bed, but it's the consistency that will get you through the whole day. It's this consistency, this hard work, which is the secret sauce, according to this authorship. The second formal point to come from this book is that you need to be able to get through and over and under past mistakes, and to be able to focus on the things that you can control, and to be surrounded by people and by an institution that will help you get through these tough times. According to this author, in a world of athleticism, mistakes happen all the time, as they would being a member of a royal family. But you need to move on quickly, and you need to be stoically minded. And you know, Queen Elizabeth II, I guess, lived this in heaps, and showed it in every aspect of her life. She was very, very stoic in her ability to just keep on going, I guess is one way of saying it. And to be stoically minded, according to the author, is to be able to focus on what you can control and let go of all the things you can't control. You know, according to this author, it's important to not waste more than 5 minutes on things that trouble you and yet are out of your control. We need to stay calm and don't let others steal or control your mind. And this is something which is really important to focus on, because if you let others control your life or the situation or the outcomes, then that will steal you and take you away from being authentically you. The author here goes on to say one more point, which I will focus on, and he says that excellence means being confident and seeing the good in everything, performing well and knowing your worth. you can't tell a person's mental toughness by their exterior. One of the things that I learnt when I was a martial arts referee, especially when I was refereeing full contact fighting by men and women. You know, you can judge a person's physicality. You can see their flexibility. You can sense their strength, their physical strength. But you've got no way whatsoever of being able to identify, see, and measure their physical strength, or sorry, their spiritual strength, their mental toughness, their spirit. And I was surprised on many occasions when I'd look at people before a bout would commence, and as soon as they commenced, then all of a sudden you could sense the spirit of each fighter. And some fighters had a tremendous spirit. And I remember saying to myself, there is no way I could have picked that. And that's why I never pick fights. I never go out of my way to get involved in fights, because one thing that I learnt as a martial artist, is that you can never ever understand a person's spirit. And the last thing you want to do is inflame a person's spirit and throw kerosene or petrol over it and be the brunt of an aggressive opponent. So the author here talks about a thing called the frequency illusion, where we see things everywhere if you focus on it. I remember learning years ago that in our brains we've got a thing called a reticular activating system, which is a filter. And I guess this filter is equated to this frequency illusion, because once you focus on something, regardless of what you focus on, if you focus on something positive, you will see it everywhere. If you focus on something negative or mistakes, you will see them everywhere, because what happens is that your brain will, both your conscious and your subconscious elements will focus on the universe and conspire to identify those things that get through your filter, your reticular activating system. So as we're saying, it becomes a frequency illusion, because once you're focused on something, then you will continue to see it, you will continue to manifest it, and you will think that it is everywhere. The author also talks here about the importance of being humble, and Queen Elizabeth was indeed a very humble person, a humble leader, and I guess that was her strength. People felt comfortable in her presence, and people wanted her to succeed and to be a leader. And great leaders also are humble and also open to learning and feedback, and being confident as opposed to being arrogant, because the author says that being confident is knowing without having to be arrogant, without having to prove your point. So there you go. There's that book summary. So thank you very much for joining me on this beautiful afternoon. I'm going to stay here till 6:30 tonight, because over there on the Opera House, they're going to project tonight the image, the portrait, the black and white portrait of Queen Elizabeth. And I just thought it would be nice to be down here, to see it on the Opera House, and to remember, to reminisce, and to honour a great person that we've had in the world. You know, it's an honour and a privilege to have said that we have lived during her reign and have experienced her as a person. And as I mentioned before, she has been a constant in many of our lives, especially during these times of trial and tribulation we've had over the past couple of years. COVID-19, we've had so many issues that have troubled the world over the past decade or two, and it's been Queen Elizabeth who's been able to steady the keel and to get us through these troubling times. Anyway, may God bless her, and wishing King Charles all the very best from this day forward, and hoping that he too can be a great leader and somebody that we can admire and I guess look forward to seeing him live many, many years, and to be healthy and great at his duty and role. Take care, everybody. Yassas, and bye from now from this beautiful spring day here at Circular Quay, Sydney. Bye for now.